Well, Lehi Tenise Atoni of Porirua was honoured with a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to the Tokelau community, one of 16 Pasifika recognised in the Queen's Birthday and Platinum Jubilee's honours list this week. Lehi has contributed to the Tokelau community in New Zealand for over 20 years. He has been the president of the Atahu Tokelau community for 10 years and previously serving as secretary. As president, he led the development of their first organisational strategic plan, Te Kanava. Through Te Kanava, they developed a Tokelau language application, hosted meetings with the administrator of Tokelau on supporting developments in Tokelau, hosted community engagements in partnership with government organisations, and successfully campaigned for government support to develop Ngangana Tokelau and Wangahau Niue languages as NCEA subjects. He's the co-project leader for the Tokelau Kainga Wellbeing Strategic Plan, first national plan developed with Tokelau communities across all regions, launching in 2022, and a founding member of the Tokelau Wellington Leadership Group, established in 2009, who introduced the Tokelau Language Week events. It's a very warm welcome, talohani maloni, to Lehi Tenise Atoni. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Lehi.
Thank you very much, Brian, for the opportunity to come on your program. Kai momoho taloha tuki te malu Tokelau I lunga o Aotearoa nei mo hauhatu hoki o New Zealand mai te tamaiti ke pāki te matua wena hoki amana ke hoki nā kaukau na pai a te atua nā hatahai tauranga ke kehe ngā rurue ma pūno e maloni o te ola kai tai te atua.
Well, firstly, congratulations, Lehi, on this wonderful milestone and a wonderful achievement for you. What does this honour mean to you and to the family, Lehi?
So, to me, the honour kind of further acknowledged the work that the tupunas or forefathers that came to these shores of this great country in the 50s and the 60s and 70s. So it's really about a time of reflection as well, for me personally, for their legacy, for their pioneering the legacy that we have today. So we're talking about the Tokelau migration, and we're talking about as a chair of the president of the Atahu Tokelau community, it's reflecting on that hard work. Not only they came for that, the better their lives, but also to support the families back home. So it's all those things, culminating with, honouring my family as well for allowing me to to serve my community, the Tokelau community. It's about our current membership, our current committee, past and present, for the work, because behind this person here stands a whole lot of people that have a passion for their country, for our mahi, for the vision to better ourselves as a community here in New Zealand. So that's what the honour is about for me, Brian.
Isn't that always the case across our, Pasifika community, Lehi? In moments like these where, we are honoured as individuals, but we can't but help honour those that have gone before, those that have laid the foundation, those that have made the sacrifices for where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I want to acknowledge the leaders across Aotearoa as well, in the different regions that we have, because we are striving for the same thing, to ensure that our culture, our customs and protocols are upheld and maintained. So, and again, the award is all those who are working very hard to ensure that our Tokelau is maintained, our way of living and culture and protocols are upheld.
Lehi, what has been some of the messages you've received from family and friends since the big announcement?
Yeah, so just like any other comments people make to you when you achieve something, it's very heartwarming, it's very humbled, and the people go all out to write paragraphs and stories of the journey. I'm just very, very humbled and a little bit shy and embarrassed because I know a whole lot of other people are more deserving of the honour that I had received. So I'm very humbled, and I'm very yeah, my heart is bursting with pride. Yeah, for our Tokelau community and yeah, families and friends.
Tell us about your upbringing in the world capital of Tokelau, Porirua, P-Town.
Yeah. So I came to New Zealand as a 12-year-old on a scholarship scheme. I went to boarding school here in Masterton for a year, and then up in Whangarei, Ruakaka, and up in Wesley College in South Auckland, in Parata, South Auckland, with the hope is that I'll return home with something to serve or to give back to my community, to Tokelau. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. I when I left school, I did a few odd jobs and then joined. I wanted to join the police force. So the advice was to join the Defence Force, the Navy, do a couple of years, and then apply for the police force. But yeah, I joined the police in the Navy in 1987, and never looked back. So I met my wife Rachel in late 80s, and we got married in 1994, and then decided to leave the Navy and move down to Porirua. So yeah, so just a bit of history. So I'm kind of fully ingrained in the Porirua scene. Waitangirua, Kenneth Creek, Escott Park, Whitby. So I'm really have been part of the community here in Porirua.
We must pay homage to the legendary or the late Mr. Lepaio as well, a very inspirational figure, teaching many generations how to do the crossings and stuff like that. Thank you, Mr. Lepaio.
Yeah, very much. Who doesn't remember Mr. Lepaio? A stalwart of our Tokelau community, a Porirua City Councillor, first in many things. So yeah, and again, those are the people that I refer to when I reflect. In the last couple of years, some of our elders have passed on, like Mr. Chila Tope, as you would know, another stalwart of our community. So we're in the area, we're in the space now. The new generation that are coming through, as that generation start, it's slowly passing. So this honour, as I said before, it's about because I'm standing on their shoulders.
It's interesting, brother, and if you don't mind me sharing, because since we've started this talanoa to you, I can tell just how much it means to you, but not so much for you, but again to those that have gone before. Can I ask, 12 years old coming over to New Zealand, I don't know, if you've been back to the beautiful islands of Tokelau since, but what are some of your fondest memories of growing up in Tokelau or Atahu, Lehi?
Yeah. It's about when you live in a small community or island community, the saying goes that you're raised by the village, and this is exactly what it was. Everybody lived in that village, and everybody had a hand in supporting that one individual or family. And you freely walk around the island. You can go to anybody's house. They call you and have something to eat, or you can sleep at their house. It's the freedom back in the days of growing up in Tokelau. And the sense of family and and connectedness as a community looking after everyone.
For you, Lehi, with the number of achievements as laid out in the introduction, what is it that continues to drive you, especially for the next generation, especially of our Tokelau community?
Yeah. I think education and our culture goes hand in hand. Our language, in particular, if you know that Tokelau is one of the 3% languages that are in danger alongside Wanghau, Niue, and Kukau and Māori. So we need to ensure that we are doing the work to ensure that our language thrives and it's learned and spoken. So to me, that's one of the biggest things is to ensure that, because research shows that in 50 years' time, if the trend continues, which is in decline, that we will not have a Tokelau language. So that's, to me, that's tragic if that does happen, and we need to ensure now that we're doing a lot of work. So I'm pleased in terms of government supporting Tokelau and Wanghau Niue to be MNZM level 1, 2, and 3. So this is a milestone for us to be able to achieve that. And we're thankful for the ministry Pacific Peoples, and MSD, Pacifica Proud, Pacifica Futures for their their ongoing support to ensure that we have programs in place to ensure our cultural initiative takes off.
Lehi, we touched on a family and those that have gone before, a number of times during our talanoa. I want you to talk to me a bit about the support of family, parents, siblings, your wife and children, and what that means to you in the ongoing work that you do in the cultural space.
Yeah. So I'm very fortunate that I have a family that is very, very supportive of the work that I do, and my wife and my sisters and brothers, and the community as a whole. Really, when I talk family, I'm talking community as well, in a Pacific sense. So, without their support, and I must say that because I've committed myself so much time to the cause of servicing our community or serving our community, my family kind of left out a little bit, especially my young children as they were growing up. But I always say this is for you as well. Even though I'm not at home for most of the time, this is for their future, proving that our culture and our traditions lives on, and they'll become part of it.
Lehi, final words, please, for our Tokelau community that are tuning in this afternoon, and especially, as always, our focus being on the next generation, please.
Yeah. Thank you. So much of our young people have become somehow disconnected from our community, our core communities, like our Tokelau community, our Hakaoko community, our Punona community, our Tahukainga. And for some reason, whether it's intermarriage or they just don't have an interest, they feel not belong to a community because they've been disconnected for a long time. I just want to encourage them to, come into the fold. Let's start again. Let's start a new journey, because we talk about identity, and there's no point talking, I am Tokelauan, but what do you know about your Tokelauan blood? So I really encourage the young people, reconnect. You have organizations throughout New Zealand. They have Tokelau groups or community groups that you belong to, because every Tokelau belongs to a group, to a nuku, to a village.
And of course, some final words in the beautiful Tokelauan language.
Yeah. And the other thing that I know that so many of the young people have skills, there's something to offer. So we need those people to come on board. So finally, the mo ta ko tai lai le ni Brian, ma te ho ya hoki te paseri one PI to have te ava a vena hoki I umalu Tokelau e kalono mai te ni taimi ka ko na te tua na lo te o ma lohi ni ka tai te tua mo pe ta to ona ma te ma lohi ai vena hoki la na kai ngai lo te na ka no ngai te nei vai tau e lo te tua ke mo pe to te ma na. So thank you again, Brian. Thank you for your time.
Member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Lehi Tenise Atoni, hake tailahi lele, Lehi, and all the very best for the ongoing inspirational work. God bless. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Brian. Tailahi lele.
Taile.